Date.
It was an impressive sight as the field of big GT cars dived into Duffer's Dip for the first time, with the silver Ascari of the Jones brothers leading the way. It wasn't long before the Lotus of Chris Bialan hit problems. He retired from the race, leaving the Ginetta of Jamie Stanley to run away at the head of the G4 class. In the battle for third, the pressure proved too much for Phil Burton. He spun out, exiting the chicane. Luckily, the rest of the field managed to take avoiding action and missed him. Duncan Cameron dived past the Porsche of David Ashburn to claim third place for the M-Tech Ferrari. And Hector Lester went around the outside of Craig Wilkins in the Viper to grab sixth. The Chad Racing Ferrari of Chris Hyman had been running well in second place, but not long after he handed over to teammate Dan Brown, the gearbox failed, forcing the pair into retirement. The KTM crossbow of Rory Butcher and Ben Harvey also hit trouble, ruining their race in the G4 class. Frenchman Stefan Dowdy punctured just after taking over from Hector Lester in the Rosso Verde Ferrari, dropping them down to 7th. But after the disappointment of Alton Park, the Jones brothers bounced back in style to claim their first victory of the year. So a win in G4 for Ginetta, for Porsche in the GT Cup class, but the Jones brothers win for Ascari, just ahead of our championship leaders in second place.
We desperately needed a win today. We could do with another win, but we just got to keep chipping away at the points. We're still a long way behind.
So it's a Ferrari on pole for this one, but it's going to be a long and tough race out there around this twisty track.
Round 4 of the Avon Tyres British GT Championship here at Knockhill. Adam Wilcox leading them to the line in the black Ferrari. A 1-hour race should equate to around 70 laps if there's no safety car. And away they go. The Jones brothers alongside. We ride on board with Aaron Scott around the number 7 Porsche. That's Glyn Geddy with the green highlights on his car. Everybody safely through Duffer's Dip for the first time. And that's not always the case. Dropping down through Leslie's as they plunge down this green and verdant valley. Ooh, dust there. And that's the 62 car of Stephen Hunter. Now, one of the Ginettas was off there as well. I wonder if there was a little bit of contact. Meanwhile, back with the leaders, there's the Rosso Verde Ferrari ahead of the championship leader, Matt Griffin, starting in that one. And looks like a broken steering arm on that Cup class Porsche. Battle for third place here, car number 10, red Ferrari, Tom Ferrier. Behind him, the 7 Porsche of Glyn Geddy on board with the Scottish driver as we start to climb the hill here. Over the brow, start-finish line beside the pits, and then rushing hard into the braking area for Duffer's Dip. Stefan Dowdy with the shamrock on the nose of his number 3 Ferrari ahead of the championship leader Matt Griffin. And in the G4 class, now we're on board with Rory Butcher, chasing Nathan Freak's Ginetta for the lead. And that Porsche going to be a long, hard grind to get it back to the pits. That's such a tough break for Stephen Hunter at the beginning of the race. Glyn Geddy dives through on the inside of Clark. He's up to third place now. You can see the leaders in front. Godfrey Jones closest to us. Adam Wilcox heading down to the hairpin. He's the leader. And Glyn Geddy under pressure. That Porsche with Tom Ferrier trying to come around the outside, followed by Aaron Scott. And then the battle between the next 2 Ferraris. Here's the G4 lead battle then. Nathan Freak ahead of Rory in his racing car. Rory Butcher in second place. Christian Dick in third. Right behind Butcher in the KTM as we ride on board. Then is the Lotus 211 of Simon Mason in fourth. Well, Christian Dick no longer behind the KTM. He goes flying by up into second place. Rory Butcher, born and bred here. His dad runs the Knockhill circuit. And in fact, they're just coming up to Butcher's, the next right-hander, named after the old man. So knows an awful lot about this track, and look how the KTM gobbles up the ground there up to the chicane. Now lead trio quartet even starting to spread out. Here is Aaron Scott, Stefan Dowdy looking to the inside in the Rosso Verde Ferrari. This is a really tough racetrack, just 1.3 miles. And the big Viper takes a while longer than the Ferraris to get up to speed and also to scrub it off. It needs the long straights of a fast track like Silverstone. Through goes Matt Griffin in car number 2 as well. So Aaron Scott has just dropped to 7th place as the Ferraris went by as one. Meanwhile, Rory Butcher now down to 4th place, the 211 in front of him, the little open Lotus. And two very different variations on basically the same thing. Design a car and add lightness was Colin Chapman's motto, and that seems to have been the idea at KTM designing the crossbow as well. Lotus just pulls away under acceleration. Looking here at Stefan Doughty, long-time French GT ace, but he is creeping. Now, don't forget, picked up a puncture in his first stint in this car, now in the second race. Looks like he's got a drive shaft or clutch problem. He's still got an engine, but it won't go up the hill. He was on the radio to the team, and that's really tough luck for him and Hector Lester. Meanwhile, here comes Simon Mason on the outside, goes around Christian Dick for second in G4 as one of their rivals, Joe Osborne, comes into the pits. Here's the lead battle. Black Ferrari, Adam Wilcox. Silver Ascari, Godfrey Jones. Third place, Glyn Geddy in the Porsche. We ride on board with him, and Tom Ferrier in close attendance as well. This is such a short lap. It is so busy, but still a good racetrack for overtaking. Now, of course, the yellow flags are out here because of Stefan Doughty's car. And I don't know what they're going to do. He's going to have to get rescued by a tow rope, I think. Top 4 altogether. Matt Griffin starting to close in 5th place as well. Was behind Stefan Doughty and Aaron Scott. So he's come up from 7th to 5th. Aaron Scott back up to 6th in the Viper as Doughty's car has stopped by the wayside. And Tom Ferrier in 4th position in that Ferrari. Just trying to cling on to the lead trio. Looks at the moment as though the Porsche has got the best of the pace. And Stefan Doughty somehow trying to grind his way back out of the way. Looks like he's pulled off to the right of the circuit. Here we go, climbing up the hill. 1, 2, 3, 4 all together. Adam Wilcox then. Looks like there's a tight battle for second. Godfrey Jones, Glyn Geddy shows his nose to the inside. Tom Ferrier in the red Ferrari. And Matt Griffin much closer now behind this quartet. There he is as he drops down the hill. And Adam Wilcox is bottling them all up nicely. Looks at the moment as though Godfrey Jones in that silver Ascari is the man under most pressure. Glyn Geddy's Porsche seems to be the quickest, nimblest thing here. But as they exit the chicane over the top of the hill, Jones is having a look at the leader. No room to go through in Clark. Glyn Geddy lets a little bit held up there. Tom Ferrier's going to have a run at him as well. They sweep around through Hislops down towards the hairpin. He's defending hard on the inside, Glyn Geddy. Oh, and that's Matt Griffin in car number 2. Dives up the inside. That's great opportunistic racing. I really don't think Tom Ferrier saw that coming. Well, 10 exciting minutes in. Adam Wilcox leads for Ferrari. Godfrey Jones second in the Ascari. Third is the Porsche of Glyn Geddy, and 2 more Ferraris in the top 5. It looks like they're only getting closer together.